So, hey guys, I want to welcome you all to the Type 88 show. It's your boy Dave Noodles. Today we got a special guest with us. This girl is fresh off the release of her new album, Uncovered. She has been in the music game for a really long time. She's inspiring people to dance, she's inspiring people to follow their dreams, all while being a mom, all while doing so much stuff. So, I really want to welcome her to the show. We got the one and only Tashanee here. How are you today?
Hi, thank you for having me. I am very well blessed to be here, and that's a dope introduction.
I watch a lot of wrestling, so it probably rubs off on me. But you've been doing amazing stuff. You're out there following your dreams. So the introduction just came pretty natural. So, so yeah, maybe you could kind of tell us how you even found music, because I know, fresh off the release of this really awesome project, but maybe you could bring it back to
Sure.
maybe where the music even started in your life.
I would say when people ask me, how did I start singing? I always say I started singing when I started speaking. I guess it's one of those things where if you have some type of talent, the minute that you're able to, you're already doing it. So I definitely was, singing in my room as a kid with a brush or a remote, And then when my parents realized that I can sing, especially my mom being very heavy in the Catholic Church, I was immediately like singing within the choir. So I sang a lot at church, being the angel at the Christmas play. And then from there on, doing a lot of talent shows and things. So it just gradually kept on growing the more and more other people knew as well that I was like able to sing, and it really pushed me out there.
That's really cool, because when I was little, I was very shy, and
Me too.
it so to kind of think about like a kid kind of breaking out of their comfort zone. How did you kind of get into that flow? Because that's a lot of pressure to just start at a young age. Now you're singing with the choir, and you're doing these shows, and you're kind of in the spotlight from a young
Yeah.
age. So how did you even?
Man, I mean, to be honest, I guess, you know what, and this ties into Mother's Day. I really am gonna have to call my mom and thank her even more so on that, because she really did like force me in a way. Um, I was okay with singing in the choir, right? But then once it was like, all right, there's gonna be a solo. Tasha, you're gonna take this, because they would call me Tasha. And it's like, Tasha, you're gonna take this? And I was just like, oh my God, everyone's
Yeah,
gonna be looking at me. I was very shy. I was very I was like introverted, definitely. Maybe an extrovert with like my close friends or whatever, but when it came to actually, showcasing a talent or getting up on stage and being in the center of attention, I was very scared. I was super scared. And I think what made it more comfortable in the very beginning was the fact that it was coming from a place of love, right? Um, Religiously speaking, just coming from God, feeling a little bit more secure because it was within our community of people that, I mean, honestly, even if you suck, they're gonna clap for you, right? Because like it's at church, so
yeah,
everyone's gonna be nice. Um, but yeah, that really pushed me, and I'm glad. And I shook every time I was on stage, but I'm glad I did it.
that's amazing. So you mentioned a few key things. Is one, you had a community of people that were
Mhm.
supportive, and I think that's just such an important thing. I know many people that had a very great support system growing up, and then I kind of know kids on the whole other end of the other side of the spectrum where they had very little support, and they actually used that as the motivation. So,
Absolutely.
so just to think about that, like, what would you tell a kid that maybe doesn't really have a community support or even family support to kind of get in the game and, get out there and do what they were dreaming of?
I would say because that support, it definitely does waver. There's always going to be people that support you or don't support you. I think it's one of those things that you have to realize we're all planted on this earth for different reasons and different purposes. And the tools that we are given, the gifts that we are given, I'm not going to say it's a sin not to use them, but it is such a gift to utilize. So first start within yourself. If you look in the mirror and you believe that you have something profound, and you feel good when you do it, feel good about it, give yourself that love. Talk to you in the mirror the way that you would talk to your friend who needed you to help them. Because most likely you're probably going to be nicer to other people than you are to yourself half of the time. So in terms of support, first support you, and that's going to help you, break into getting out of that comfort zone and saying, you know what, I believe I can do this. I'm going to throw myself out there, and it is what it is. Like, go for it. Just jump, make the first move, and everything else will follow.
That's great. And could you remember like the first time you started performing your own tracks? Because of course, at the choir, you're with a bunch of people. There's a lot going on. Sometimes you can't really pinpoint whose voice is whose. But of course, you said you did the solos.
Yeah.
But could you bring it back to maybe that first show where you had to really prepare, and how did you prepare to get ready for that first show? When of course, now you're a solo artist out there and putting yourself, in front of people and really, showing the world what your gift. So how did you prepare for that, and how did it go?
So definitely the first performance I ever had, my mom made this angel outfit for me because I was like the angel in the Christmas play, and it was very shiny. Like my mom, she went over the top, and I was like, oh my God, Mom, I'm trying for people to look at me less. And it was like sparkly and like sparkly wings. And I was just like, I was so scared, but I kept singing the song, and it was in Spanish. As a matter of fact, it was in Spanish.
Oh, wow.
And I was not very fluent in Spanish. So I was like, talk about really being put on the spot. But I just kept practicing and practicing and practicing. And I would write it down and I would read it. And I would have, this is kind of funny, I would have the chloroseptic spray by my side to just keep spraying it from my throat. And Halls and chloroseptic were like my staple items to make me feel like, okay, I think I got this because these little friends are here with me. And I don't even know how I mentally prepared myself. I just kept practicing so much. And when the day came and I walked onto the stage, I was so nervous. And I looked into the crowd, and it was like you can hear a pin drop. And I heard my heart just like beating through my chest. And but everybody was smiling, like they were just like waiting to hear, what does this little girl have to sing? And I started like very low, and then they like smiled more, and then I was like, okay, I'm done with this, like I want to leave. But I just kept going. I actually forgot the words at some point, and they filled it in for me, and then I kept going, and like then the choir came in, and it was cool, and it felt really awesome.
That's amazing. So how old are you at that during that
I feel
one?
like I was like 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's good. You're just thrown right into the pool to swim at a young age.
Completely. And there was like about, I mean, it was the Christmas show, so there was like at least like 100 people. Yeah.
So something that you were saying was, you were dealing with a lot of stress, of course, because it was a new experience.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, of course, the pressure to deliver and, deliver on your words, deliver on the performance. But one thing that you said was practice. And
Yeah.
I feel the world that we live in today, I think it's so cool because there's so much information. You could consume this, you could watch all these videos to learn how to bake a cake, to dance, to make your own mini house in the woods. You could learn you could learn anything. But I think what you did, though, you practiced. So you weren't just, it's good to like learn and consume information, but I think the amount of time that you're putting into what you're planning to put out is so important. And, you know, you really put that home was practice. You know,
Yeah,
you could sit home and you could watch every how-to video on how to make a beat, but if you don't apply it, or, you know, and then practice it, where's it going to go? You know?
absolutely true. Practicing was key, and I still messed up. I still forgot the words because the nerves will sometimes get to you. But that's what helps with practicing, is at least being able to like come back in.
And it's cool that you pointed that out, because you remember that, I guess, I wouldn't say failure, but you remember that, you know,
Hmm.
mistake, or the learning experience, being like, okay, well, that step maybe didn't go right, or that word didn't go right, but it was how you kind of, but you learned from doing that. If you didn't actually
Yeah,
set yourself up to perform or to do that gift, you wouldn't have learned really anything new. You would have been just home kind of wondering.
absolutely.
So I really recommend any kid out there, anyone with a dream of any age, you know, take time to learn, but practice whatever that thing is that you want to do. Spend lots of time on it. And I talked to my dad the other day, Tashanee, and he went to Juilliard for music.
Nice.
He's a
Yeah.
music teacher, a music director, and a musician. And he was telling me growing up, he's like, you know, Dave, I know some of the best musicians in the world, and they didn't. None of them, not many of them, all got a master's in Juilliard like me. He
Mhm.
said, but what separated them was the amount of time that they spent home
Hours.
preparing and practicing and sharpening their sword, you know, and clocking in 10, 20, 30,000 hours. And so when it came to the show, they were ready to go.
That is awesome. It's the truth. Like if you're putting in a lot of hours, it's going to deliver. Like you have to have a work ethic. And you shouldn't even feel like it's work because it's something that you love. So you just continue doing something. You're just perfecting and investing in yourself, perfecting your own gift.
Yeah. And that's amazing, because I know we were talking earlier, and I know you were saying stuff about self-esteem,
Yes.
and maybe you could kind of talk about that journey, and how, you know, that battle, and how maybe you overcame that.
So for me, being shy from when I was younger, um, and really feeling like, okay, like I would sing, let's say, in a group because somebody heard, oh, she can sing, and then I would get put on the spot, and then I would sing, and it's like I would get a response of some people that were just like, oh my God, you sound so good, and then others that would now treat me different because I was getting some type of attention. That right there used to crush me. It used to make me feel so low. It used to make me feel like I was being a show off, or I was making somebody else feel bad. Like that's where my concern was they don't like me anymore because I received some type of attention, and it made me feel really, really low, to the point that I didn't want to sing. I didn't want to um, you know share my gifts or my talents because I was worried about other people. um, and after a while I realized that that's not me, right? Like that's a you problem. At the end of the day, a lot of people will reflect something that they feel. um, and I think once you learn a little bit more about yourself and what you really want to do, and when you know that you're coming from a place of good intention, I think that's major. Know yourself, know where you're coming from. Why are you doing this? Like, are you doing things just to be a spotlight? Who are you? What do you want? What are your goals and your intentions? And when you know that you're coming from a good place, I think it allows you to forgive yourself. It allows you to be kinder to yourself, kinder to other people, to not take things personal. So self-esteem was something that took me years to really to build on. But I felt like, you know what? I know me. I know who I am, and I know I come from a good place. So yeah, I'm gonna pat myself on the back the same way I would to a friend.
That's real. That's amazing. it's I always say this advice to myself. It's tough, but give yourself the advice that you would give to someone else.
Yes, it's so true. It's easier said than done, right?
It's much easier. Yeah, it
But we're in
really
quarantine. We could talk to ourselves now, so we could do
is.
it.
So that's so I think just in life, we're always going to be there's always going to be an inner battle. What do we want this or this? Or is this the right thing? Is this not?
Yeah.
And it's such a rewarding experience when you find it and then you're in that path.
Hmm.
But sometimes it's like there could be a lot of forks in the road, but just make that decision. And a lot of the time when you're in the fork in the road and it's like comfort zone or not comfortable zone,
Yeah.
you kind of I think that was the theme of the
Ooh,
show.
I can add to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just like the comfort zone is like, okay, I know where I'm going. This is gonna, I'm gonna wake up at this time. This is, I could count on this. But then I think when you take that other door, that other part in the road, different things open up, and it may not be the most. You don't know exactly maybe where you're going all the time, but I think once you start navigating the uncomfort zone, it's a beautiful thing. And it's like, wow, I remember that day like it was yesterday, even though it was 7 years ago, because it was so different, or I
Exactly.
had to break out of this. So what were you thinking about?
I actually like two things came to mind. Number one, I'm pretty sure you know Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken, right?
Of course,
One of
yeah.
my favorite poems. And I remember, God bless the teacher who made us, I think we were punished, but she made us write it like 1,000 times. So we memorized it. But, having that, the road not taken, and that has made all the difference. That really is being in the fork of the road and just choosing that other path that's going to be weary, and it might not be what you're used to, and it might be real. It's probably going to be really scary. And the thing that I wanted to tap into was one of the things that helped me basically get out of my comfort zone. I grew up in Brooklyn, right? So I can say, like, as much as I was shy, I was still like a tough girl, and I felt like I was from the streets. And I convinced myself, I did this little mind trick, that there was somebody else in front of me, like a bully in a way, that was telling me what I couldn't do. And I kind of just convinced myself, like, if it seems like someone's trying to stop me, and if it seems that this is something that is scary, Tosh can't be a punk. Like, that's what I would tell myself. And I was like, all right, so we're going to do it just because you're scared. Like that, and that might sound crazy. It might not even sound safe. Kids, don't all try this at home. But like, I just kind of convinced myself, like, if it scares me for the wrong reasons, now I have to do it. So that's been my mindset lately, is say yes to everything that scares you. That's safe.
So of course, that from being a young kid performing solos at age 7 to now, fast forward a little time, you've had
Yeah.
a chance to collab with some of the members of the Wu.
Yes.
I know you collabed with Inspectah Deck on "Do What You Gotta"
See
when
what you
you
got.
were when you
Yeah.
were like 16,
I
right?
was like
That's
16.
cool.
Yeah. Shout out to John, who pulled me in and was like, hey, I have this project. I think your voice would be dope for it. I heard it the other day and I completely forgot that it was me. And I was listening to it and I was like, oh, that's right. Like, mind
That's cool.
blown. But yeah, I was like 16 years old. That might have been my first studio experience, actually. Yeah, I think that was my first time ever recording. And I completely forgot.
That's amazing. That's a great first studio. Was Inspectah Deck in the studio?
I know. Maybe cut that out. Don't tell Inspectah Deck that I forgot. Like, that's horrible.
So he was there.
Yeah, I mean, when I recorded separately, but I did meet him at another
Got
point
it.
too.
That's
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, shout out to Inspectah Deck and the whole
yeah,
Wu-Tang. And you bring up John, definitely one of the most talented dudes I know.
absolutely.
And one half of the keynotes, we had them earlier on in the show, like season 1.
Oh,
I
nice.
had Glaze and John on the show.
Them
They
two are
put in a lot of
phenomenal.
work. They're
They do.
amazing.
They do.
So let's talk about Uncovered. I was bumping it yesterday. Definitely a lot of good ones on there.
Thank
And
you.
so maybe you could kind of tell us about your favorite track on the project.
Sure. So Uncovered, my favorite song is the self-entitled song Uncovered. Um, it originally started as Discover My Love. And then me and John, well, John was making fun of me. He was like, "What? Discovery Channel?" Like we just kept
Yeah,
going
yeah.
back and forth, and like we were like, "Oh, this is too long. Is it a little cheesy?" And then I realized, like, okay, I'm repeating Uncovered a few times. I like it. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. And then when we were trying to figure out like the name of the album, it kind of just fell in like, why don't we just name the whole thing Uncovered? Like, this is you being in your vulnerable state. It's kind of like an unveiling, you know? Um, so, and then going from doing covers to like coming out with the EP album of your own work. So there was just so many different avenues of why it was called Uncovered. But the song is my favorite because it has a nice R&B flair. Like R&B, I definitely have so much love and passion for R&B, which I do feel is kind of like different now. But it has like that influence of like rest in peace, Aaliyah, and
R.I.P.
a little homage to LL Cool J. I don't know if anybody really caught that. Did you catch that? Did you catch the little? So basically, in
I,
the hook, when
mm-hmm.
it's this is more than a crush. Hey lover.
Ah,
Yeah, so like this
got
Hey
it.
Lover song, we kind of like we wanted to do like an old school like funky vibe. Um, but originally, I'll rewind a little bit. I was sleeping actually on this couch. I knocked out on my couch one day. I was kind of stressed out, and I fell into a dream. And within my dream, I was singing. And this has happened to me a few times that I guess maybe it's an artist thing that sometimes we'll make music in our head, like even when we're sleeping, and you'll make some really cool stuff and you might forget it by the time you wake up. So, the very beginning of the song, I created while I was sleeping. And I remember like being conscious enough to say, "Oh my God, that's good. Remember that." And I woke up and I just like ran to my keyboard and I started like I'm not really great on the piano or anything, but I started figuring out what notes would match. And I recorded a little voice note. Fast forward to like 2 weeks later, me and John are in the studio. We're cooking up, more songs. We're trying to figure out what to do. We already recorded Only Tonight. And he's like, "I'm not sure what to work on. What do you think about this? What do you think about that?" And we were going back and forth. And it was like one of the first times that we didn't necessarily have something like, we know what we're going to do. And I was like, this is happening for a reason. I was like, "Can I show you something?" And I really didn't even think he was going to like it. I honestly didn't. I didn't think it was going to be in the lane. And I showed him and he was like, "Oh, I like that." And he can like work
Awesome.
with actual notes and piano. So he started his production magic and Uncovered was born. And then we got Eddie I from Staten Island rapping on the track.
The homie.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I love that song.
It's a jam. I play it pretty often, and we'll actually get right into it.
Yeah.
So let's get into that. This is, maybe you could introduce it to us.
Oh, yes. So, guys, this is my favorite song off of the album Uncovered, and it's self entitled Uncovered. I hope you enjoy it. Out on all platforms.
I know your pain, I feel it. Your voice trembles when you say my name. I hear it. I've been there before, but when you find somebody, gotta let it go. Listen to your heartbeat. I just wanna know when you touch my body, I'm more than just a body. If I let you discover my love.
love. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Baby, this is love. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been waiting for a long time since we first crossed paths. Everything was all fine. We were in my old crib. I was tracing your curves. You had your fingers on my jawline. Ghosts in my past told me they'd stay the same way. You were no different though. You thinking it's easy for me to dip and go. You claiming I'm being the one that's difficult. We met up at the wrong time, please. Never hesitated to give all my things. You just wanna forget about the love we made. Blocking my number off of your call ID. I look to the future and baby, all I see is both of us walking through all the walls I breached. To get to the best of us, we gotta put together what's left of us.
I've been there before, but when you find somebody, gotta let it go. Listen to your heartbeat. I just wanna know, when you touch my body, I'm more than just a body. If I let you discover my love, uncovered, uncovered, uncovered. You know this is more than a crush. Like hey lover, hey lover, hey lover. If I let you discover my love, you know this is more than a crush. Like hey lover, hey lover, hey lover. If I let you discover my love.
Oh, I could never get enough. I've been waiting for your love, baby. Tell me what you wanna. Oh, it was never just a crush, it's love. Oh, I can never get enough. I've been waiting for your love, baby. Tell me what you wanna. Oh, it was never just a crush, it's love.
If I let you discover my love, uncovered, uncovered, uncovered. You know this is more than a crush. Like hey lover, hey lover, hey lover. If I let you discover my love, you know this is more than a crush. Like hey lover, hey lover, hey lover. If I let you discover my love. Like hey lover, hey lover, hey lover. Like hey lover, hey lover, hey lover.
So that one was a banger. I see why it's your favorite track on the album.
Thank you, thank you.
The melody is just keeps it just kind of sticks there. Da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na.
I'm so glad.
Shout out to you and John. Who worked on that with you? That was John
That's
and
me
Eddie?
and John co-writing. His production, Glaze's, I believe, mixing, mastering, like they work together. So there's a lot of, collaboration between the technical side of it, and Eddie, coming through. Thank you so much, Eddie, for being a part of that and throwing your verse in there, and he just killed it. So a good collaboration between the four of us.
Yeah, that was
Whole
great.
Staten Island team plus baby Brooklyn over here.
So I know you show a lot of love on SI Staten Island. You got of course Eddie I, and then you got my friend Tyrone Briggs on Nightmare. So maybe kind of talk about that one and where that came from.
Nightmare. Wow. Nightmare I originally created years back through another nightmare situation in my life. And I was in my feels, and I showed John what I had originally come up with, and it was definitely different. And it wasn't like John's work, you know what I mean? And we just decided to remake something, completely change everything about it. So we didn't, there's no stealing, no nothing. Like I had already, come up with the name and whatnot, but we changed a lot of the music and how it was going to sound and the words that we were going to use. And we kind of had this inspiration of like making it a bit dark and heavy. Honestly, I almost wanted to replace Thriller in the Party City commercials. You know what I mean? Like, come on, we watch this commercial every Halloween. Can we get a different song like Michael Jackson? Like all respect, Thriller's a dope record. Just wanted to do something kind of different. And it is so hip hop, like heavy and dark as well, that putting Ty on this song and he just comes through as the heavy hitter that he is, and he just like delivers. That's how Nightmare was created.
That's awesome. So it's kind of interesting because you were talking about how you had to perform a Spanish track when you were a little girl. And then, fast forward some time, you drop Only Tonight.
Yeah. Which
is a Spanish-English track. And, of course, you got the video out. And so it's a fun, great record. Maybe kind of go into that one and let us know, like, the inspiration and how that even came together.
Sure. So Only Tonight was very inspired by spontaneity, and I wanted it to have like a real vacation vibe, a real tropical vibe, fun, dancey. Only Tonight, the whole inspiration behind it was like having your last chance, like if there's like a foreign love and you're saying bye, and like tonight is your last night to tell somebody how you feel, you know what I mean? Like just the whole funness of it. So that's how Only Tonight came together. And we realized being on the tropical wave, like, yeah, let's throw some Spanish in there. I'm Puerto Rican. I don't fully speak Spanish. Funny enough, Spanish was actually my first language, and my mom's an English teacher, so it just transitioned out. But creating that song was kind of funny, actually, because, John doesn't know Spanish, right? So me and him were in the studio together, and he's looking at me like, I don't know, you tell me if it makes sense. And I'm like, Google Translate. So there was a lot of Google Translate. There was a lot of me hitting up my friends who actually are fluent in Spanish. And apologies to the Latin community, guys. I'm gonna learn. Like, I'm in quarantine, so I'm gonna fully learn. I wasn't always 100% comfortable necessarily with speaking Spanish. Like, I honestly fully understand it. So speaking of breaking out of comfort zones, that's one thing that I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna polish up my Spanish speaking skills. But yeah, the whole vibe was to be very fun and energetic and, spontaneous. So Only Tonight was really fun to create. And then we reached out to Puma. Shout out to Puma, also from Staten Island. And
yes,
and his whole team, great production team that helped, record the video and bring this vision to life that kind of has like that J-Lo Waiting for Tonight effect, which is exactly what I saw in my mind, the whole tropical, like, fun vibe. And yeah, so we made it work.
So yeah, let's get into that. And then we could kind of talk about a little bit more of the album and the dance challenge you got coming up as well.
Awesome. This is Only Tonight, guys.
From that first moment, I knew it. One day, oh, one day he's mine. No, there's no time for excuses, 'cause we only got tonight. Forget your restraint. It'd be a shame to wake up tomorrow and just walk away. Come take my hand, I'll show you the way. Got to believe me when I say, oh, esta noche, there is no tomorrow. So papi, no me dejes sola. There is no tomorrow. Only tonight, only tonight. So papi, no me dejes sola. There is no tomorrow. Only tonight. para mí. No hay tiempo para discutirlo. Esta noche se puede perder. Forget your restraint. It'd be a shame to wake up tomorrow and just walk away. Come take my hand, I'll show you the way. Got to believe me when I say. So esta noche, there is no tomorrow. So papi, no me dejes sola. There is no tomorrow. Only tonight, only tonight. So papi, no me dejes sola. There is no tomorrow. Only tonight. Until the sun comes up, let's watch the sun go down. Like there ain't no tomorrow. Veremos el sol bajar hasta que salga el sol. Veremos el sol bajar. Like there ain't no tomorrow. Papi, no me dejes sola. There ain't no tomorrow. Only tonight. Only tonight. So papi, no me dejes sola. There ain't no tomorrow. Only tonight.
So yeah, you guys did your thing on that. That was Only Tonight by Tashanee, directed by Puma. Shout out to him, another Staten Island representative as well.
Yeah.
And
Keynotes music.
shout out to the Keynotes once again.
That Latin pop vibe.
I don't know if they played this. I don't know if they gave me that record the day when they were on the show. Well, I was DJing a bunch of tracks, but I don't remember when it was. But
I think it might have been. I feel like John told me something about that.
Okay, there we go. So I know dance is an important part of your life.
Yeah.
And you got this thing coming out right now, of course, inspired by the track Rendez-Vous.
Yes.
You have a challenge. Maybe you could kind of talk about that, maybe how long it's going for and what people could do to take part of it.
Sure. So basically, one of the dancers and a very dear friend of mine, Anna Kafari, she was one of the dancers from Only Tonight video. She choreographed a nice little snippet piece from Rendezvous because she called me one day and she's like, Tashanee, I love this song. Like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? You know, like she really, really loved it. Like genuinely speaking, like I didn't even have to go to her for that. So that was kind of really cool to see, like, from a dancer's perspective, this was something that made you want to move. I was like, all right, dope. So she came up with this little snippet of a piece between like the chorus, and the choreography is really fun, really dope. So we decided to make a Rendezvous challenge, and that's the hashtag that we're using right now. So hashtag Rendezvous challenge. You basically tag myself at I am Tashanee and her at _cuffs, CUFFS. And basically give us the video, show us, you know, what you're doing with the choreo. And the rules are, you know, like if you have the most views, you win $25, and we actually choose a person who we feel may have done it the best, and you win $50. So there's options to basically, you know, win some money here, have some fun, throw a dog in a tutu in the challenge. We don't care. It's just a good way for us to move and have fun. Because, I mean, if a dancer was inspired to dance, I'm pretty sure everybody else just wants to dance and have a good time. So that's what, Rendezvous is about, having a meeting of, 2 or more people. Rendezvous. It's a meeting. It's a good time. Join us.
That's dope. And how long is that challenge going for? And when will the winner be announced?
The winner will be, it ends May 17th, which is a Saturday.
Okay.
So that's next Saturday. I believe we're probably going to announce it by Sunday. Maybe we'll go live on May 18th. We're going to kind of figure it out. We've had about 10 entries in so far. So it's been really cool to see a lot of people, a lot of young people as well. I really love that, submitting their videos. So yeah, send them in.
And people could find the video of how to learn the dance on where?
This is on my Instagram page. Sorry. Okay. It's on my Instagram page. It's also on Anna Kafari's Instagram page, A-Cuffs. So if you follow me, you'll see Anna doing the snippet of the dance. And then like the next post will basically be like all of the official rules of like tagging us and doing the hashtag.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then we'll do like some type of like collaborative video with everyone's pieces. So, we'll put that up there.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, here we are, you got the new album. It's doing very well. People, it's very well received.
Thank you.
You got a lot going on. We're talking about, saying deuces to the comfort zone. Maybe you kind of talk us maybe about, what you see for you in the future and how you see yourself maybe breaking out of some other comfort zones. I know you said you wanted to learn a little bit more Spanish. And
before you said the future thing, what did you say before that? Saying deuces to, like, it broke up a little.
Yeah, just saying deuces to your comfort zone. Like,
oh,
deuces,
yes. Oh, completely. You got to fight your comfort zone. So for the future, I would say continuing to just be bold in a humble way. Go out there and just force yourself. I'm going to be forcing myself, not really forcing. Now I kind of enjoy this. Just making sure that I'm putting myself out there more, that I'm investing within myself and marketing myself better, and continuing to network with like-minded people, whether artists or producers or anyone that, here I am working with a dancer and we're creating this different platform for people to engage with us. So there's going to be, there's going to be, a lot of that continuing to grow forward. I would also say I really enjoy what quarantine has offered in terms of our communication. So just the fact that we can do this is amazing. I know I've never gotten a chance to have like a live sit down with you. So this works. It is what it is. But like on Fridays, for instance, on my Instagram, I do something called Ladies Night, where we just go live and I'll have a different, female that I kind of like co-host with, and we talk about what they're doing in life, or if people have questions for them, and, different artists or moms or yoga instructors, or it allows us to have this really cool platform. So I feel like that's going really well. And we've had engagement from, like I told you earlier, someone from Nigeria. And I love being able to like reach out to people. And I want to do more of that, even if it's not necessarily just music, being able to give back to the community, to work with others. Definitely a lot of more philanthropic things coming up. I definitely want to do more of that. But yeah, more music, more dancing. I'm getting on TikTok. I promise y'all, I'm getting on TikTok.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what we have going on. And some things I can't say, but all good.
That's awesome. That's so exciting. It's been amazing to hear your story from a young girl, being part of the Catholic Church choir to dropping albums, and really creating a community of art and dance and music and collaborative, just doing your thing, collaborating with others, no matter where they are on the globe. So, you always have our support, Type 88.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
And of course, we appreciate you as well. Maybe just let people know where they can find the album, your Instas, the social medias, and links or anything.
Yes, awesome. So you can find my album on all platforms. If you follow, so that's basically Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, whatever you're listening to music on, I'm there. Just type my name in, type in Uncovered, and everything will pop up. Basically, if you're following me on Instagram, the link in my bio also has like that great link that gives you, Spotify, iTunes, whatever it is, and you can just choose it. The Rendez-Vous challenge is in there, so you can submit that. And the Rendez-Vous challenge is very like Euro pop inspired, so definitely want some international love there. But yeah, you can also see the Only Tonight video on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, I am Tashanee. My Facebook music page, I am Tashanee. Instagram, I am Tashanee. I'm trying to be consistent. And TikTok, I am Tashanee.
Awesome. Tashanee, we wish you and your family, a safe and peaceful weekend. And we really thank you for sharing your story with us. And we really look forward to seeing all the light that you share with others.
Thank you.
In the world of music, art, dance, and, don't stop dreaming.
Yes, exactly. And thank you so much for having me. I wish you much peace and success and health and wealth. And yeah, we have to take advantage of this platform, and don't be scared, y'all. Break those barriers and get out of your comfort zone. It's old. It's old.
Stay deuces to your comfort zone, guys. Tashanee,
Yeah.
nothing but the best.
Awesome.
I know all you guys are ready to leave your comfort zone, but if you're home, comfortable, don't go anywhere just yet. We got a lot more show. We got a freestyle from Buddha. We also have a closing prayer from Joseph Aflito, and a DJ set by yours truly. So stay comfy for another 40 minutes or so. We still got a great show for you. And then break out of your comfort zone all this week, this month, and this year.